What's up, Automation Nation? Welcome back to the factory. We're now day 8 into the Industrial Revolution, and we want to see what we can accomplish. Been reading a lot of comments, found some cool new features. One thing is Toggle Fuel Manager will make it so that I don't have to put any coal into my burner generators anymore. That's kind of cool. Another one I learned about was a hotkey system that's unique to IR3, but basically when you have a inventory slot available to fill it with more stuff, you can just hit a hotkey Shift E on the chest and stuff will just fly in from any chest that's nearby. It's kind of crazy. So this blue inventory system, I thought it might be just like a weird temporary workaround for not having logistic robots, because we don't get that for a long time. And I guess the mod creator thought of that too, because they created a full-on workaround to logistics, since you don't get it for a huge part of the game. Pretty cool. And one thing I'm going to do real quick is go ahead and start buffering red analysis packs, just because I do believe that there will be a point in the future where we are making more of other sciences than that, and yeah, we want to go ahead and make sure that we have that available. So I have these new bronze chests. I guess might as well try one of those. So here we go. Set on the bar. Let's just go ahead and make that our default. And then we'll do one more right here. So simply put, it'll always have, should have always 2 bronze chest fulls unless we need to put them back on the line, and then it will go ahead and do that. There's ways you can do it with filter or splitters and stuff like that too, but not a big deal. We'll go ahead and switch out our hot bars indicator for stone furnaces, bring in the bronze, we're in that age now, and let's make it happen. So got a few errands I want to take care of, and then I want to try to get hitting the road looking for some iron and moving towards what very well may be our next factory. Alright, it's been a good starter factory though. I really like this one. I think it was, obviously pretty inflated around here, getting too much of stuff that I don't really need, but overall, not a bad start. Alright, I'm gonna have to go fix this at some point, but yeah, not a bad start. I'm pretty happy with this. And we're driving off away. As far as what we want to work on, I do want to go ahead and just get some ammo development for shotguns and shotgun turrets, just so that I can more conveniently fight biters whenever they come up. Hopefully, most of the nearby ones have already been taken care of, but it's always going to be a constant threat, and we want to be ready for them. So I'm going to go ahead. I think we'll probably here it's better, just by a slight margin, but it's not a big deal either way. We'll need some steam, and we will need some of these small assemblers. We can put them right here. We'll leave one space for stuff, and yeah, just put that in here, and give them the command for bronze pellets. It probably doesn't take too long to make these, but it takes long enough for it to be annoying for me. So this apparently isn't getting steam. I'm doing it wrong. Oh, these are turned the wrong way. I was wondering. Alrighty, and then we get to go ahead and empty those out onto, let's say, a belt that we'll put into a bronze chest. And now that will already speed up the handcrafting part, but going ahead and one step further, we can always just do a bit of this. And that will allow us to, with a little bit of steam power, make the most of the actual bronze cartridges and get that going. Lastly, we would need tin plates into this one. So we can go ahead and bring in the tin that's over here. I would say we can probably, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would have to do it right here. Get rid of this, which we ended up not using the split, but I'm glad that we kind of figure out how to do the basically 2 full lines turn into 2 half lines. Just kind of thinking through that puzzle is always fun. And we messed this up while I was auto-saving. Let's try that again. There we go. And we can bring this down here. So this is going to go into plates now, but I guess here's a good spot because it's pretty close to the steam action. So let's go ahead and do this. Can we fit all this if we just do it like this here? We could. We can make that work. Cool. Of course, we'll have a new recipe in tin plates. And we probably don't need nearly this many, but I'm not too worried about quantity of buildings. We can always grab some more. We have the system in place. So we would just do this. We would then underground belt here. And we want it to be only on the close side, so the inserters will do the whole input-output thing onto the far side. And with a little bit of connection there, a little bit of ingot action there. We got the inputs, we got the outputs, we've got bronze cartridges coming out. Great, wonderful, love it. Filter it out. And the cool thing about this is that it will allow us to be much more active with our scatterbot capsules. These things kick butt, and I want to be able to use them more often. And the lack of bronze cartridges slowed down this whole process quite a bit. But if I can just do this, I can already make a couple of them right now. Or yeah, I still need a lot. So it's 10 each, and yeah, I'm used to making things 10 at a time, but maybe that doesn't work here. Anyways, what you can do here is just grab some of this, grab some of that. This should only give the excess over to that chest, but yeah, we'll fill those up nicely. And yeah, now this will hopefully speed things. Oh, it keeps on. This is kind of annoying, but it keeps on putting the cartridges into my inventory. So let's go ahead and do this here while we can. And yeah, it will take some time. We could also automate that, but I think that's one step too much for what I'm doing right now. I'll come back when it's like all full up, and it'll be nice and easy to make these. For now, we'll just keep it as it is. All right, next thing. We'll notice while I was walking around, sometimes this furnace wasn't doing too hot. This guy's looking for bronze cap beams. That's right. Okay, so situation here is I did a splitter here, which ends up, because it puts on the far side of the splitter past the actual splitting part, it actually just hands it to this one, which means that it doesn't go to the one. I think I kind of just wanted to prioritize this one, but in hindsight, it needs both. It needs to go on both. So we'll just do a conveyor belt here, actually, and that should just work fine. That'll get plenty, and we can also just put some beams in here if we want to speed things up. And then I think the ratio is that if we're putting full-time wooden beams into this, we're actually going to need a bit more of this stuff too. So we'll get some stone bricks over here, and it should do just fine. Could also then probably go ahead and split off some as well. Oh. And just to make sure that I'm not splitting off too much, because that kind of defeats the purpose of I'm just doubling it and then having it. And let's go ahead and just make a third one. Got plenty of stone. Plenty of stone. Filled the trunk with some stuff to head out with pretty soon. I also wanted to talk a little bit about, I guess we'll run up there with the car. But I did want to talk a bit more about forestries, because I did figure out a little bit more about that just by playing around with it and experimenting. Trying to see what we could make of it. I mean, I thought I had a decent understanding of it by the end of the last episode, but there's some optimizations that I'm thinking about now that I better understand the mechanics. So if you look at it right now, you might notice that it's not highlighting all the trees in the green circle. Neither is this one. Neither one is claiming the trees down here. You can see it even better in this picture that I took while I was experimenting, but this whole chunk right here in the green is what I thought would be the coverage for the forestry. And I thought, like, if you put multiple forest trees in an area with 100 trees, that they would be able to share between them and both be full. The reality is that regardless of how many forest trees, it will only take advantage of the first 50 that it can see. And then from there, it divides it among how many forest trees are in the chunk. So in this case, it's never, no matter how many trees spawn, it's never going to be above 2 ticks here, which is 50% chance to spawn a wood every 12 seconds. So not great. It's also like half the pollution recipe. But one of the commenters mentioned a hotkey that in almost 500 hours of playing this game, I did not even know about, you can look at the chunk information, so you can know which one, and it's not really relevant in the unmodded stuff. Pollution is a factor, and when you do rail setups, there's something called chunk. I forget the name actually. Chunk based, chunk centric, whatever. You align it with a certain point so that everything kind of moves normally. But this is a 32 by 32 grid, and it happens to be an important factor for these forestries, because what you can actually do is just put that, like, 4 of them on the corner here. You don't have to like spread a bunch around here, a bunch around here. It's actually just on the corner of these chunks. So if you put one here, 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 you've gotten the most you can out of this entire square. So that's, I think, the design for the forestries is going to be more along those lines. And we can make that happen by double checking, yeah, putting one slightly further back, and then just routing the water. So we'll do this. We'll do that. I don't know if I should put water pumps on my bar. It's kind of weird to go for the inventory side of it, but yeah, so we got that. And do you guys see this one is full? This one is full. They're right next to each other, but they're getting 100% for ticks, so to speak. Whereas these guys, there's actually no point in having this second one. It doesn't do anything. It only limits this machine. Even the negative pollution is shared between them. Like, you see this one's negative 36, and these are 2 are negative 18. Just actually does nothing. Kind of weird, but yeah. Also, don't think we need this boiler. Seems like one boiler is going to be enough. We're consuming not even 10 out of 30 right now. So that's cool. And we'll keep that going. But yeah, so this is kind of the design you want to be going for. You never really need to go for these 2 at a time. We don't need this top half at all, actually. So we can cancel that. Though we did actually have a few minor errors as well, as you're seeing with like the wood and stuff not actually flowing. We'll keep that in mind for the future. Try to be methodical about making it all work. But yeah, the top half just isn't necessary, which is interesting. In the end, we're still producing enough for the green, or for the bronze framed glass system. And I assume we have enough for the copper cap beams and stuff as well. So this one's growing along nicely though. Already up to 2 ticks pretty smoothly. There were like none of these trees were here before. So it's kind of cool to kind of plant the seed, so to speak. Figuratively, literally. You roll with it. Anyway, so yeah, it's a little bit different than what I expected. Like, in theory, there's value in putting them here, but I also just don't think I need that much wood if I just have all these running properly. So we'll leave it as is, but it is a very interesting idea. And also, if you look at the map, the pollution, it basically stops here, because while the boiler does generate a little bit, if we look at the graph, this is pollution over the past 10 minutes, and you're going to see like these forestries are a pretty substantial part of it. Damaging. Okay, so some of the trees are getting damaged by it and thinning out, but most of the trees, the other 2,400 that we're accepting it, are just eating the pollution. And then as it spreads out over across the map, it also gets sucked up. So that means that it won't like spread infinitely across all the tiles. But trees are definitely going to help forest trees as well. So theoretically, if I want forest trees, I could put like little groups over on this side instead. And I think that's what I want to try. I want to try to make like little... Ooh, Factorio had something called an air purifier. I think there's something like that in this game too, but it's not for a long time. So I'm going to make a little... We're going green. We're going a little net zero, trying to reduce the pollution to an extent. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to go like eliminate everything that we're putting out, but we want to make sure that the areas where it's concentrated because of boilers, we're absorbing it at an appropriate rate where it's not expanding too far in one direction. And that should reduce the problem with biters and allow us to get to some better tools to deal with them before they attack some more. Yeah, I'll grab some of this stuff, why not? Oh yeah, there was that other issue up top here, so I'll go ahead and fix that real quick. Let's see here. Looks like just this. No problem. He's good to go. That'll be filling up again. Boom, boom, boom. Trying to think of what we'll need for our next base. Eventually, anyways. Can I... I can't really set this as a filter. We'll just put it here. It's not a big deal. It's not perfectly organized, but where'd my car go? Oh, somebody did also mention that we are a little light. You can, yeah, oh, we were supposed to get water at the bottom. Okay, let me just remove that. Not a big deal. Somebody did mention that I should probably be putting more water into this system because of how, if all the boilers are running at max capacity, it needs a little bit more love than what one pump can give it. So I guess we can take these down. I don't expect the biters to come back too soon since we did what we need to handle them. So we'll just go with that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. There's some pretty close by, but it's not too bad. Alrighty. So, yeah, what we can do is we can basically just look for a good chunk near water, pump water to it, and just allow it to do its thing. So if we look at this, for example, over here, we can zoom in, see there's a water pump opportunity right here. And all you have to do, if you have enough forestries with you, which I have 4, perfect. What we want to do is then align it with the chunk. Okay, this is not as good because it's got... Okay, so what we can do is put a little landfill action here. Cover up most of this. Yeah, the area we want is right there. We get the pump. We put down 4 forestries, which will be aligned. Just back it up. 1 here. All right, guys, chill. Got it. Here. All right, cool. So we got these. This one will grow a bit. This one will grow a bit. But the important thing is that... Or do we... Okay, I'll change it one a little bit more. We'll put it like this after we fix the water problem. Woo! And turn it. I'm assuming this is in the right chunk, yeah. Just because that's where the entry point is. That's where it kind of rounds to. Even though technically it's in both. Or 2/3 of it is in one part. Maybe that matters. Either way. They have water. And now all we have to do is just take stuff out of them, which we can do with, I think, burner inserters is going to be better for my purposes, because they can eat the wood as it comes out as their own fuel. And then what they're going to do is just store it away. And so what this doesn't add wood to our factory, but what it does do is allow us to reduce our pollution in this area without any cost. None of this requires power. Only requires water that is infinite in theory, and a little bit of space. There's going to be trees growing here. But like, I think this is a really great way of just having good consistent reduction of power. 36 times 4 in this area. We don't want this to spread that direction. And yeah, I think we can do that with some consistency whenever we see good little water patches where we're not going to be tapping into anytime soon. So actually, I want to go ahead and also show off blueprints. I think that many of you guys are going to be familiar with how blueprints work, but simply put, if I wanted to keep this and store this for the future, what I can just do is drag a little box around it and then give it a name, say net 0. And yeah, simply put, this thing can then live in our blueprint book. We'll put it in our game blueprints because this one goes between different mods and stuff. This is very much specific to Industrial Revolution. So now whenever I open this blueprint book, I can literally just have this on my paste bar so I can recreate it very easily. And then we just put the pump wherever it makes sense. Put this on that chunk quadrant between the 4, and there you go. And then, yeah, they'll have plenty of time to fill this up. The burner inserters actually don't take that much fuel. I was very worried that it would take like all of the fuel that I just realized I didn't belt or inserted these at all. It's fine. If we come back up, we'll come back up there later and do that. No big deal. Trying to think of what else we want to cover before we head out. We'll pick up our ammo, pick up some supplies, and I think we'll be on the road at that point. Looking for iron. The Bronze Age has been conquered. The Copper and Tin Age, probably too much so, but yeah. We'll be able to head out. Probably clean this up a bit, but it's mostly good. So we can go ahead and we can just shoot, pull all that stuff out. We'll go ahead and just grab everything and put some of it in here. It's always good to have this because these guys have the now 7 Clockwork Roboports to build a plenty. So we'll keep that. Pull that since it's not too useful. Make sure we have everything from here. Look at that. It just kind of tells me what I want. So between the Shift C, which will dump any excess trash that I don't want, and Shift E, which will pull from random chests and stuff, it's pretty cool. I think we have a pretty good logistics intermediary, you know, some way to make that work despite the low-tech nature of the steampunk. I miss the steampunk side of things, though. I think it is pretty cool to see how it all kind of works together in a very clunky but lovable way, I'd say. It's hard to describe it. All right, plenty of conveyor belts in case we need to establish. So the one thing I'm worried about is we don't know where iron is. It's pretty far away. We're going to have to connect our starter base to this other base in some way, either just shipping iron up to here to actually make our stuff, or we're going to have to do it by shipping some stuff down there if it doesn't have like tin or copper nearby. In either case, we don't have rails for a little while, and we're going to have to maybe cover a lot of distance. So yeah, the question is where. I think that north is, it's possible, but it also has a lot of ocean stuff, and if I want to start establishing a bus, I'd rather do it on what it looks like to be a big horizontal line here. So we can try west first and just kind of go around and see what happens there. But yeah, most likely we're going to have to travel a bit to make this happen. Do I want all this stuff in my inventory? I'm not too sure. I don't want it too cluttered, but at the same time, I see some value in some of this stuff. Especially since we're going to be far away from our mall, far away from home for a while. So, go ahead and put the wood in here. Allow it to continue building its stuff, which is cool. Check out how we're doing on the ammo side of things. Stone bricks, I didn't really have that set up before, so I'll go ahead and grab that. Maybe we can even get some walkways going. It definitely makes the factory look nicer, but it wasn't a priority for me for a while. Bot count. Yeah, looks like we're good on that side as well. Bronze chest is in place. Cool. Only lacking a little bit of this. Shoop. And a little sound effect too. It's kind of cute. All right, there's the ammo that we're looking for. So this, with a little bit of these, will allow us to craft a lot. So we just have to keep an eye on what kind of things we need. So if we grab a little bit excess ammo here, which means this whole setup right here is probably unnecessary, but whatever. It's just a little bronze. Yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to ever use this in full. So making it even more is useless. Should we grab a few satellites? Obviously, like, they're scanning, but they don't seem to be scanning enough for us to really get a clear picture of what's going on. It's mostly hitting water at this point, so I'd rather just save the coal. And as we saw on the pollution meter, it is like, I'm hoping I'm hitting trees. Yeah, a lot coming from the copper boiler as far as pollution goes, a bit from the steam mining drills as well. All right. Well, it's about time to go on an adventure. We'll keep making these as best we can. I think we're good with the scattergun turret counts we have currently, so yeah, we'll grab some boilers or some furnaces. I'll mix those up sometimes. Throw them in here. And then anything else? A little bit of that shoops right in. And I think we are good. Alrighty. I was thinking that it would be really cool if somebody added a Factorio mod where whenever you're in a vehicle, you get just some like radio music playing. I think like Grand Theft Auto or other variations. often has that option where you can just kind of jam as you're cruising along. Since we don't have that, I figured I'd just add what I can. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. There we go. Alright, this thing is not designed to be fast, but it is designed to go through trees, which is kind of nice. We're going to not really focus on killing off the biters too much, because there is the limitation of we just can't handle medium worms, and that's also not our goal. Our goal is just to get iron and get to the next tech. But if it's a little group that we don't want spreading, and we think we can handle it really efficiently with just one of these, I say why not? Seems like a good place to start. I wish I could throw more of these at a time, but it seems like it's just the 5 until they die. And then I can throw another one out, but really I don't want to waste 2 anyways. The worm killers. And we go and grab our tank from a mile away. But yeah, so this biter expansion is a thing where they continuously are spreading around and creating more bases. And I think when you kill the base, it creates more pollution in the air, which no matter how much you suck up, eventually that causes evolution to increase. See, we were at like 10% a while ago, now we're at 14, 15%. And yeah, that gets scary. We're in an arms race against these things, so we don't want to give them an edge. But while killing their bases does cause them to evolve faster, not killing their bases causes them to get more bases, which you still have to destroy eventually anyways. So you're either swarming, getting swarmed, and having more problems, or you're just giving them a short-term boost. So, yeah, I think there's logic in both. I think we do want to just focus on the iron stuff, but come on, these guys are easy. This must have been a fresh nest. They must have just expanded here. We don't have any spitters right now. Evolution factor is still low enough, maybe at like 15, 20%. Then we'll see spitters, which are ranged attackers, little acid bombs. Can be problematic, but not that much more than biters. Did I just drop ammo on the ground? Alright, we need to kind of head a little bit more into the fog, trying to find some resources. Hoping it wouldn't be that far, but clearly we are not so fortunate. The upside, I suppose, is that resources that are further from your starting area are significantly better. See, that's the kind of one I don't want to tassel with right now. It's got medium worms, and it's got so many spawners. So as you get further away, the biters get worse too. So a lot more stuff to mine, but more risk involved in it too. And also like more surface area of your base that you have to protect and worry about. More angles of attack from your enemy. Oh, we have a little tin. Nothing. Whenever I see biter, I'm gonna scout kind of close to them, because we do know that that they're more likely to be protecting a resource. We got iron. We got iron. It's not anywhere near where we want it to be, but we got iron. Yikes, that's gonna be a trip. Alright, so 10 is nearby if we want to set up shop at that. 4.6 million. We don't really need that much tin though, to be honest. It goes into bronze, goes into red, and why is it shiny? Diamond bearing rock? Okay. Is that, yeah, just straight up gives you diamond. What are diamonds for? Ingredient in diamond powder, diamond cutter. Interesting. Ingredient in advanced mining drills, mixers, and crushers. Oh, okay. So it's like really sharp. I guess that makes sense. That, not a resource I expected out here for sure. I don't really need to spend a capsule on this, right? Wouldn't say so. Maybe a few fish, but... As long as you change your direction, you'll dodge a lot of the attacks, especially if you're further away. Yeah, that's the 2 biters I left. But is that the 2 biters I left alive earlier? Because it was right next to an iron patch, and I had no idea. I think a lot of my turrets are ending up in the heavy roller here. Just one. Maybe I'm leaving some behind? Oh well. We got 4. Think we need much more than that, but we'll make a few. All right, so we got the iron patch, and oh, looks like maybe more. All right, this is where it all went. All right, so this will work to, which one's better? 8 million, 6 million. This one's a bit closer to the base. Yeah, and less biters on the way too. So we'll start with this. We can always expand and pull from that too. Let's look and see if there's any copper or coal nearby that we can actually establish a real base here, or if we're gonna have to pipe a lot of stuff down. The tin's pretty far too. Alright, well, we aren't seeing anything. We actually hit ocean, unfortunately. So I think that we'll just head up and figure out how to expand this. I'm trying to think, like, at this point, we're really far away. But, I don't know, maybe I can make it like a measuring tool. I don't actually think it matters how many tiles away you are. You just have to kind of roll with it. There's not really an option, because, like, no trains. I guess there is an option of putting everything in the trunk and then shipping it across, but that's not like a long-term idea. I'd rather just spend like 1,000 conveyor belts and make it happen. So it sounds like that's what we're gonna do. Gonna have to clear the area, look for a spot a path from between the 2 bases. We can go ahead and turn the music off now that we have found our destination. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that a little bit. If not, let me know and it won't happen again. But I figured just some tunes while we travel around, since there wasn't as much to see. Not that Factorio has bad music or anything. So let's say we connect here. We bring it all the way up. Is there any path without any like cliffs to worry about? Right here between the stone and the gold, it seems like. So yeah, let's say we go here, which is right where this coal hits, and we send some stuff down. That'll probably be the best option, because we can't really run a facility remotely without at least coal sent down. Trying to think, like, there's charcoal kilns technically, but I just don't think we're going to generate that much wood even with forestries. So let's just work with what we have, and let's set up some operations. So let's grab as many conveyor belts as we can right now. It's going to take a lot. And let's just think, how many do we actually want to send? All right, here we go. That's everything. Okay. Technically, you can do this and do a little bit of that, and then zoop. And that'll be as much as we can carry. And we will use most of this. I don't think we'll use all of it, but you never know. Because we have a lot in the trunk. But yeah. So right when the coal went up here, I think. No, nope. Not quite. Thought it was coal. It must be this, yeah. Okay. So right here, we go down straight. Now there's cliffs and stuff there. That's not the right spot. It's correct for the iron. Could try to go around that stuff too. Yeah, we can try this. It's not too bad. And the cliffs, at the end of the day, we can work around the cliffs. Like if we have to underground belt. There's less water here too, which is nice. So yeah, let's say this spot right here. I'll mark it off. These guys are lacking steam. I wonder how quickly I'm gonna like abandon this top base here, because like oftentimes I'll find myself like working really hard to make everything super nice for the first base, and then it starts running low on resources and I'm just not into it anymore. Why are you not getting steam? Because this isn't getting... Oh, this isn't connected the way I thought it was. Makes sense. Boop. Alrighty. So this is one... So we're definitely bringing coal down. If we double check our green bronze chain, it says that we need 360 bronze frame glass. We belt that down, it's less than half. So we can put bronze frame glass on the same line as coal and then just split it, like, so essentially just have one conveyor belt running down. If we wanted, we could also then send the other stuff that we don't have locally: stone, copper, and I guess we could do 10. We wouldn't have to do bronze because we can just make it on site if we need to. But stone, yeah, stone, copper, 10, and is there anything else we would want to send? I mean, it's always helpful to get some of these things, but worst case, we can always copy paste some of the production chains. And I do not care for the wood production we have right here as far as... We can send glass because it's pre-made, and I'm assuming we're going to need it. Let's double check. Recipe book. Help me out here. Glass. Later, like, I know there's oil up here and stuff like that too, but... Product of... No, ingredient in... Circuits. So I think we're getting into circuits pretty soon. I could see glass being necessary. Obviously, by sending stone, we're technically sending glass, but it might be good since we have, if we have an extra belt to send it. So, yeah, this is what we're basically just making a little mini bus to send. I'm actually going to do one the opposite direction in case we need to send something back. I don't really want to have to route that. So, what we're going to do, which we were kind of ready for already, was sending this. Then we are going to go ahead and pull a lot of that. There is stone on the way, right? There is stone here if I really wanted to go that route, but I could see that more as a reinforcement chain. I don't really want to spend time on that right now. We're about to hit iron, and I'm too excited to focus on that. So, let's just say this is where coal goes. This was the one thing I definitely wanted to send down if I'm making stuff that way. And I think I'll make that decision now. Then we already got the copper tin combined together here, so might as well. Actually, I didn't think I was going to use that, but it works out pretty well. After we split off here. And we'll just have that guy go do something else. We don't need anything from him right now. And that last thing was what? Stone and... I already lost it. Glass, I guess. We can do that. And our starter base has shown its worth. If we can get through this last trial. There we go. I think it's a pretty good base to start off with. Obviously, there are things I would do differently if I went back, knowing all the details of all the recipes and all that, but I'm quite happy with it. I think it's okay to scale down a little bit. Do not try to do 2 science per minute right off the bat when you're just getting into basic tech stuff. It's okay to just do like 50 or less, and you'll just get the text very smoothly. Anywho, that's half of what we wanted, and then the other one was stone, just regular stone. So that's pretty easy. Just to make sure. Technically, I think I can just do it like this, and it'll go in the right half, but this ensures it, right? Looks like we're kind of dry on stone in general. Do we want to amp that up? But yeah, before we head out, I can see that. That'll be our last thing, and then we can head over. Back to the iron side. So, yeah, we'll need some assemblers. Do we want to just make an iron chain real quick in the factory, make sure we have everything? Iron chain. All right. Then we really just need to go ahead and do the same thing we did for the green, but we'll do it with the iron components only instead of this. We assume we already have this, so we're going to do the others instead, which we can do the matrix thing as long as we don't remove anything. It doesn't like that. But it does. I just like to not have to put in. Basically, if you don't, then it'll be like iron ingots and then iron ingots again later, and you'll do 2 lines of it. And I just want to consolidate everything. So, yeah, it seems simple enough. Now, I noticed there's no recipe for crush iron ore, so maybe that comes later or it doesn't exist. Either way, this is what we need. We need 26. I mean, like 46 big assemblers. We have all this basically. 34 smelters. We have like 50 here. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, I think we just need the path there more than anything. There was one thing I wanted to grab. Well, I'll go ahead and make a few more of these robots because, yeah. That's a pretty cool feature. I like that. Glad I know about it. It would have been great to use it earlier, but like, it's all good. No, yeah, I wanted to expand the stone mining real quick. And then we will say goodbye to our steampunk dreams. Hope y'all are having a good one. Playing this mod different or just hanging out. Appreciate y'all. Been getting a lot of great activity, hearing a lot of great comments, and just seeing a lot of love on the channel, and it's super cool. I thought it'd be fun to, you know, do some videos as a hobby, and well, it's just nice to see that other people enjoy it. That's like really cool to me. Yeah, we can just do away with most of this. So this is 10? No, this is a deadline. That used to be 10 a long time ago. Times have changed. I'll change with them. Probably, well, it's going on a half anyway, so I don't think it matters really if I dual-sided or anything like that. It's not a huge bandwidth line. Technically speaking, you don't even want your line to go like this at all. You want it to go like to the side. Off of the space, so you have the most amount of space possible to do this. Even this is a little too close. Though technically I don't want to go too close to the copper because we run into that issue where it's putting 2 different kinds of things on the same line. So we can just do something like this. It's all good. And then run it south of that. It'll be great. And I think it was... Oh, geez. Was it the red wire or the blue wire? I want stone to go through this line, which goes here and swaps places. It's the one on the right. Okay. And then we just give them the steam. Why are these guys mad? Because you're full? I'll take some space from you. We'll need it later. Alright, so that's some extra stone. It's all good. And we'll head back down. But yeah, no, it's been super cool to hear from everybody and hear that you're enjoying the videos. I know Industrial Revolution isn't one that gets played all the time, so it's nice to see something different, something unique. Definitely want to try other mods and content if you guys have any recommendations to consider. I won't really get a chance to get into them for a few months probably, but good to think about it ahead of time. Whether it's like Craftorio 2, space exploration, like a vanilla mega base. There's so much stuff I haven't tried in this game. Like, very soon, a substantial percentage of what we want to accomplish, or what I've accomplished in Factorio, will be already, like, recorded. Because, honestly, I'm already learned so much in just these past few weeks, which is super cool. Trying to remember where I was going. Yep, here we go. We started here, we go hard south. And what you can do is similar to the blueprints. You can just kind of have a outline in mind. We'll go ahead and just get another bar that puts the landfill on a hotkey, because I know that we're going to run into some water. Maybe not a bunch, but some. And then you'll just want to copy paste something like this a few times. And ideally we just do it like as we're rolling down. The robot's just, nope. You gotta make sure you do it right though. It should be like more like this. Good vertical. Yeah, no, we won't turn the music back on. We'll just listen to the bots do their thing. That's pretty fun. And there's our first encounter with the water. Well, wait, I thought I wasn't going towards cliffs. Apparently I'm really bad at geography. Yeah, once we get past this one, we'll be okay. And I think the rock is making it look worse than it actually is. So if we just check here with our conveyors. Yeah, it should be fine. Actually, it seems like everybody else is clear. So at that point, you just copy that again. Undo those. There we go. All right, back to what we were doing. Yeah, we can technically like do a whole big chain at this point. Here, if I had radar vision, I could actually do even way more than this, but yeah, the idea is if there's no cliffs in the way, we should be able to plan ahead a bit and just watch them do their work. Pretty big radius, but the closer we are to the construction, the better it's going to be, because they have less travel time by our logistics combined. But yeah, I've been enjoying the playthrough a lot. The Industrial Revolution definitely has enough uniqueness to make it feel very new to me and allow me to continuously think about ways to make things better and different. Even if it's not always going to be the best solution on the first try, yeah, you just keep on looking towards what works best, what can work best. Yeah. I did want to mention, I guess, as you know, the kind of normal YouTube thing is, since I want to give the chance for even more people to see the videos. If you did get this far, you're on day 8 at this point potentially. If you went and did this linearly, then I would say, why not subscribe to the channel? And no, personally, like I've only subscribed to like 5 different channels, so if it's like not in your top 5, I totally get it. But you don't want to see it on your feed. But I figure if whether I'm uploading something next week or several months from now, that it'd be fun to do this again sometime. But, you know, that's up to you. No big deal either way. I just know that it helps more people get a chance to see the factory, see the content, see the mods, and get a little bit more piece of that. I'm sure there's people out there that just like, they would like Factorio if they saw more of it or if they knew more about it, but like it seems too much at first glance. That's one of my buddies. That's actually kind of one of the reasons why I started recording, is because from his perspective, seeing some of like the craziest train networks and whatever, this can go really far and just be overwhelming, but it's really not that bad as long as you're okay with walking instead of running, you know? Oh, those 4 are gonna be annoying. Cool. And this one definitely forces you a little bit to walk instead of run. I mean, I was looking back, and if we just look at how much it takes to make an inserter, one inserter what the chain of events is to make that happen is absolutely absurd for this mod. Let me go ahead and keep this flow going while I talk. But if you look at this, you're like, okay, what do we need to make? Well, we'll even do the matrix thing so you don't have any overlap. What do you need to make? Well, you need to make this, this, this. Sure. This, this. Why not? Yep. Mm-hmm. Cool. So even just assuming that you've already gotten the ingots out of the grounds, maybe crushed them, definitely smelted them, you've still got like 8 steps before you get to where you want to be. 8 preliminary steps for the most basic and essential logistics item, other than a conveyor belt. That's pretty insane. I mean, for reference, in vanilla, I believe the blue science pack has about 10 preliminary steps. And basic oil processing is not that much more complicated than doing all the steam. Oh, I didn't realize we were already here. Just going on my little rant. All right. Cool. Well, I'm hoping that stuff is following the line. If we made a mistake up top, then that might not work out. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and double check that we didn't miss a single bit, because that would prevent anything from getting down here. And we seem to need some reinforcements. I mean, we can't even get power online without coal. I did bring some coal to kind of jumpstart things, but that'll run out pretty quickly. There's another weird part of this base in particular, is that we are going right into a very significant change in tech in a short time span. Where very soon... Oh, my gosh. Quality. Quality. Alright, that didn't mess anything up here, right? Okay, cool. There we go. Come along, then. Follow the yellow-black road. But yeah, so we're going to be changing into new technology. We're going to get rails, we're going to get electric automation, we're going to get new boilers. Looking ahead, like, things are going to change very quickly. So how much time do I want to invest in really getting the stuff right for the steam-based stuff? I mean, I'm curious even like on next automation if the crafting speed increases, and then I'm basically going to have to go for it, right? So 0.625 goes to 1.25, and from there, yeah, your assemblies are just that much better. So yeah, I think we have to keep this pretty consolidated, pretty simple. But you can also, one thing that's great about Factorio is that even when you get the newer tech version, you can upgrade it. You can use either the upgrade planner or just, you know, click right on top of it. You can go from one to the other pretty conveniently. So it's not all or nothing. I can get a whole system set up for the steam-based stuff, and then with a few modifications, still reuse it for electric. All right. I don't think I've made that many steam... I made enough steam mining drills. So we'll go with that. Expand this out to cover the gaps here, and we'll make it happen. I learned something cool in a video as far as how to... oh, that's right. If you blueprint out a bunch of mining drills and just put the blueprint on there, I think it just like fills in the blanks pretty intelligently. Like, it doesn't put it on something that can't be mined. I guess technically that's impossible, right? It has to be within at least one of a resource to do that. But we'll just do the mostly intelligent thing of making sure that it's actually using the space. So, like, for example, I don't really care too much about that, but if I could just do a vertical line, start a vertical line here, we can go from there. And I'm assuming the layout will be a bit different for electric mining drills, but mostly the same if they're the same size. Come on, little buddy. You can do it. All right. And then we'll... Yeah, so we want to leave maybe space for the electric poles, presumably. Yeah, because we're not really going to be able to fit that in super nice either way. And at the end of the day, this is all going to get eaten up eventually. It's just more surface area means that you tap into the node a bit faster, but they actually cover beyond their close radius. All right, we can definitely copy paste this, right? And then with -1, we can do this one too. Okay. Looks good to me. Yeah, there will be some edges we miss out on, but for the most part, this looks perfectly fine. The important part is these guys need steam. And so we're going to have to go ahead and get some boiler stuff going. Now, we get iron boilers pretty soon. Okay. Gotta watch out for those. That's kind of scary. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and handle that right a bit now because, yeah, I don't want that to show up here in just like 10 minutes. And it most likely will. So the trees will be to my advantage. They actually kind of move slower through the trees. So if I'm smart about this, I can position myself carefully. And they will have a harder time getting to me. Yeah, here's the aggro. Beautiful. So once the initial wave is cleared and then the first respawns are cleared, then I'm going to push in. It's a pretty big base, but not a lot of worms, fortunately. And that's usually the thing that gives me trouble. So we'll aggro these guys. I guess we'll see if I get hit here by a tower. Is this turret range? Yes, it is. Okay. So it's more like here. Should be fine. Cool. And then any steps closer is going to be on me. Away, my bots. Get them. I'm dying. Fishy, fishy. Oh no. Ooh, our bots are still active, but I'm taking a few hits. We'll make it through. Alright, we lost a brave construction bot. We made it through. What is this? Polluted steam combined youth. So we have another source of steam. That's really convenient. Where's the... We don't... I mean, we'll still have to get boilers set up for anything large, but that'll kind of jumpstart it a bit. At the very least. That's really nice. Bam, bam, bam. What? Okay, if a steam derrick can't mine this, a polluted steam fisher, what can? Steam engines. Derrick? Okay. There's an electric derrick that can be set up on any fisher. Alright. I don't know how much that makes sense to me. I guess it's... Yeah, what does pollution have to do with it? It's okay. We got water, we've got coal. We've just got to filter it out. Go back to our normal mode. And let's start building. I'm wondering how many times I'm going to have to drive back up to get supplies. I think I'll have the core ingredients, but there's always like something on the side. Do I want to pump from the ocean or just pump from right here? I guess I'll just pump from right here. Let's get the coal routed this way. I guess we can chill in our vehicle because, like, it is our construction guy. So, obviously not when we're fighting, but... So, with this, it's a little awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we do it here to here. Okay. And then we want to go ahead and split things off where the coal, which is going to be here, then moves off to the side. Can I pick things up while in a truck? Didn't think so. So there is disadvantages of being in the roller, but it'll be alright. We got coal. Just gonna route it past everything, I guess. See that, or if we're going, it depends if we're going west or east, really, for future stuff. Probably would want to at least pick that up, but we won't need it for a while. Let's just go like this for a bit. Just past the iron line. and down south. I'm just gonna do this. I'm more comfortable like moving around the camera. It's like my camera actually. I just like to be able to like manipulate the space a little bit better than I would with this. If I'm doing any big copy-paste builds, of course, I'll be in the truck. That's gonna allow me to, yeah, expand that much more rapidly. But for just getting things started, let's go ahead and put down our water pump if we have one. We don't. Easy peasy. And yeah, so I was thinking about it. There was somebody commented on the video, one of the videos way back when, that they were asking whether or not it could be set up so that a boiler could hand coal to another boiler, and I thought that was a really cool idea. Because it's like, it actually specifically asked if it's the same way as with labs where you can daisy chain them together. And what that ends up allowing you to do is putting it all right here, putting the steam line here, and then just having them hand that off to each other, which is a pretty neat idea overall. I guess they need to get a little bit of coal to jumpstart it, but after you get that and the inserters start working, then it'll feed it the rest. The only drawback with this idea is that some of the inserters will be working way more often than they really would want to be, and in some cases, as you expand it further and further, more than they're capable of. What you'll see is that this guy is only going to be moving it once to go from here to here, but this guy is going to have to move like 3 or 5 times over to continuously put coal into the one that's handing it off to the others. So you could, in theory, do this exact design, copy paste, and this is cool because it does condense the space. Instead of using like instead of every 5 space units, you're going to get 2 boilers. It's every 4, ignoring the very first conveyor belt, whatever. But the issue is then, yeah, it's not an issue right here. It's definitely not. But as it scales up higher, it becomes more of an issue, right? So that's just something to keep in mind. I do like the idea, though. I thought it was a really cool idea. And when I was testing it out to see if that would even work, I came up with a different design for boilers that I'm actually really excited to show you guys. I know getting excited about copper boilers that we're about to nullify entirely is kind of silly, but it's just really cool to me. So let's go ahead, grab some stone bricks. I don't think I put plates in here, unfortunately. And I think we'll just make do with what we have. So we can do it like this. And this is really good. Or we can just make a small adjustment and get what I think is probably the best setup. I know I said that last time, and I do love this little Zen garden that I was able to make with like the little branching paths, and really just much more efficient than what I started with. But with a little bit of extra thought, I was able to come up with this alternative. Okay, the truck took my boilers, whatever. So you do it like this, or like another steam pipe to collect it all, and then you use the long-handed steam inserters right here. You connect the steam right here on the sides, and then you pump it down. And if that isn't a hell of a compact build, I don't know what it is. Now, I just made a mistake, obviously, because the long-handed inserters needs to be 2 away instead of right next to it. But we get some coal rolling in these bad boys. They get their steam generated. And bam, presto, we have something that is actually the same amount of horizontal space as before, but is now utilizing a full one row for each individual boiler, and you can expand that out so like as far as you want. Obviously, if iron boilers are twice as good, we're going to go that route, but I thought that was pretty cool, so I wanted to go ahead and get things moving with that. And then we'll just put a pump down, or a storage tank down, just to kind of keep an eye on where we're at with that stuff. We can always expand it further. really easily, actually. So we'll keep that in mind. You can copy paste this. You can do whatever you want with it. But this is super cool. So if we weren't about to render these obsolete, I would absolutely be like blueprinting this build and utilizing a lot more. But as it stands, we now have our Steam. Go ahead and do this. Does a couple of things. First of all, it's just easier to walk around and work around. And also, from what I understand, it actually is better for the fluid throughput mechanic, where like basically fluid dynamics make it so that it's harder to push liquids a longer distance. And underground belts or underground pipes are slightly better at it. But don't want to get too complicated at this point, but that is just a nice little bonus. Not that it's going to be an issue here. I'll actually go ahead and put that one slightly further. So then we can send it to our last little fellow here, the odd man out. All right, well, this is going to be a lot of iron. I really hope that my electric mining drills fit in the same amount of space. Otherwise, we'd redo everything. Whatever. Pay the iron price. Let's go. All right. First bit of iron is raring to go. What are we going to do with it? We have to make these iron beams, which as far as I understand is like every single iron component. Same as like copper had combined together. Maybe not the pellets or whatever, but... Do we need any of this right now? I'm going to say no. Should be good. We have this. And we have to think, what do we want to do? Well, let's go ahead and bring our truck closer in case we need to build off of it. And I'm imagining this thing is full of steam. Yeah, we're good. Any biters? We should probably keep an eye on that, just in case. Actually, we should definitely be radaring at this point. So let's go ahead, put up a couple telescopes. Can make a few more, potentially. I want to try to make sure I don't use up too much bronze, though, in case I need it for something else somehow. Because, yeah, we just don't have access to that right now. All right, let's get started. Iron chain. Now that we're done complaining about our inserters woes. Yeah, we just need to go ahead and pulp the iron ore, turn it into ingots through 34 furnaces. And as far as like how many belts we actually need, that's also kind of helpful to know. It's only 1.4. So what that means is that we can combine two of these together and without any issues. We just double these up, put 1.5 on each side. Technically, it won't be perfectly equal because this has like less. You see this has 13 steam drills and this has 15, but it's 1.4 required. I'm not too worried about it. We'll have plenty. And then we'll just split it together here so that overall we're getting a good balance. Alrighty, and then we need, 34 bronze furnaces we have on hand. How do we want to route them? Just like to the right. There's a lot of swampy marshlands here, which kind of is annoying. And I want to give some space in case we get to add crushers later. So... yeah, I guess here's fine. If we have enough of the gravel. I don't actually know how much I brought. You know, because we don't have easy access to gravel, let's just go ahead and route it to the left. And then I guess that implies we might be routing a bunch of stuff to the right, but it's fine. And yeah, we'll just try to keep this guy nearby so that we get this big assembly grid. And things build that much faster. Isn't affected by belts, so you can actually just set it on the road here. Okie dokie. Oh, I guess one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, that ability to pull stuff out is a mod setting that you get here under mod settings per player. So if you're trying to get that, hotkeyed containers, all containers, you can also, I also check these to see what they're all about. But yeah, that's what allows you to just hit Shift E when you're near, when you're highlighting, mousing over a box, and it will fly into your inventory. So it's a little bit more specific than the other one, but that's all good. 34 is what I'm going to assume. 34. So we could do 17 on 2 lines, or we could do 9 on 4 lines minus a couple, which I think seems fine to me too. Yeah, let's do 9. 1 away for the steam inserter stuff. This gives room for me to like route out and in for crushing. And that's 7. Give it 2 more. Oh, we didn't think about coal as a factor. Let's go ahead and cancel that. We want to automate coal going in here too. That's actually why the 9 is much better than the other. But what we'll want to do then is just underground belt this away, have the coal split off here, and then it will take precedence, so the iron only goes on the right side, which works great. And 1.4 divided by 4, it's only 0.35, so it's not even close to the 0.5 that you'd be worried about for half of the belt. Yeah, so then we'll just do a little bit of this. Be careful not to mess it up. And it's the odd number, so we'll do one of these. And we can pull the steam from anywhere, really. But let's just do this. And we're well on our way. These guys don't need a recipe. They know what to do. They'll just turn it into ingots. Then we'll do the exact same thing here on the other side. Put it on a conveyor belt, let's say headed north. And then I can't horizontal flip the design, so I'll have to replicate it, but that's okay. If I can just do this much at least, line it up, and then move it over 1. And assuming I don't make mistakes here, it'll be great. Bam, bam. I trapped myself. That's fine. Cool. And copy that over. Everything line up. You can also look at the white squares to make sure everything lines up nicely. That's cool. And then we just have to route the iron over there. So this is, yeah, that 0.35. So we'll need... Actually, that means that we're going to have to take half of this iron and put it... Yeah, that's not going to work. Well, technically, it's fine because it's 1.4 specifically, but... No, even that, I still have to pull it. I'm trying to, like, do the math, but... Realistically, let's just do this. Pull it back a little bit. Or even just go all the way through with it. And then... It's a little awkward. Yeah, we'll just do this. Not going to be the prettiest, but... Function over form. Alright, so that's number 2. Which will go over here. Oops. One of those is right. Ah, I perked just one off. There we go. Then we will want... So that's all from that first belt. And then we'll want to do one here. Now we can just copy this twice, right? Actually, this can pull from, yeah, we can pull from the middle. Interesting. So does this represent more? This will represent 0.7. If I'm thinking of my math right. See, I need, belts-wise, I need 1.4 belts. This represents 1/4. The last one will represent quarter. This one will represent half. So this one will represent 0.7, but we're only using 0.5. So technically speaking, we'll have a problem here if we use it twice over. The simplest solution is just not to use this twice. The other solution would be to come from the bottom up to a certain point. Yeah, I don't really want to math out 0.7. It's like, yeah, it's like 0.7 divided by 9. Let's just do it the simple way, the clear-cut way, which is making 4 separate ones. And then you don't have to worry about getting the ratio wrong. Or, more importantly, like accelerating efficiency with different furnace values and stuff like that. We'll still have to worry about that, but not as much. So, yeah, more coal splits. Another one right here. This is an iron split, which allows us to then do that. And there's no real reason, throughput-wise, that I can't just also split off of this here. Again, not pretty, but there's plenty of better ways we can do this later. The important thing is we get 34 furnaces, because even on the electric version, it's going to require all this. So let's go ahead and just take care of it now, right? We won't have steam pipe issues. Yeah, so I can't, as much as I want to, I shouldn't pull out this line. Let's just restrain ourselves there and put 2 identical lines next to each other. Why is this not? Is this coal? And yeah, it is. It's just, it's kind of hard to tell because it looks like almost like a shadow. Interesting. I didn't actually realize that the graphics for iron and coal were so similar, like the little rocks and stuff. It's just like the shading and luminescence kind of changed a little bit, but anywho, not too important. Let's do this. The steam pipes don't need to be replicated, but at the bottom steam part shouldn't be the same, but we'll just move it 1 full building block down. Cool. Yeah, we don't need these undergrounds. These actually come, this one doesn't need it either. In fact, we'll probably want to do it this way, where we pull it back and give everybody what they need. Very cool. Alrighty. This is an input, so it's, yeah, this last line here, got here. Yeah, there's a way to math like 2/3 splitters and stuff like that. It's been a while since I did that, and I haven't thought about it recently, so I don't want to like flail around at that. There's definitely a way to do it though. Like you could do stuff where you have like, obviously like this would be a, let's say the input was half and you didn't have to worry about sides, and this would be half of it goes on here, a quarter here, a quarter here. But the issue is more that the conveyor belts itself can't hold enough stuff, and you would have to like restock it halfway through or something. I'm just like, let's keep it simple. We just want ingots. And we have them. So they have to escape, of course, but not too bad. Getting the pipeline for this, and I think we can make this episode run a little bit longer. I've been itching to get to this one, so I wouldn't mind going another 10 minutes or so here in our factory. Double checking the actual iron ingots. Yeah, that's 2 belts as well because it's a 1-to-1 conversion. Once this gets to red belts, no problems at all, but for now, let's just do the 2 separate belts into a lot of different things. So 1, 2, 3, 0.8, yeah, of the 1.4, 0.8 will go into the plating, 0.4 will go into the beaming, and a little bit will go into the rods as well. So none of these more than 1. Yeah, as long as I make sure the plates and the beams take from a different one of these 2 lines, then we're fine. So plates, let's get started with that. 20 plate assemblers. That's a lot of plate assemblers. And I like this. I really like the fact that this calculates belt throughput, because it tells me, okay, well, even when I put the plates on, it's another 1-to-1, and it's going to make it so that I don't have to have 2 iron plate belts. I just do one big one with 20 different assemblers on it. So we'll give it space. Let's just do this. Yeah, I guess we might as well start. Yeah, the question is, do we want to belt it here and start building this way? Which I think is better. Just doing it right here. This is how spaghetti starts, guys. If you try to start building your entire green production line in this space when you're planning to go that way, it's just really silly. Let's go ahead here. Because I'm like, yeah, I don't have to send it over there, but yes, you should. Just organize a little bit, please. I gotta break some bad habits. All right. So, as it stands, yeah, we'll do this as the supply line for our first bit. It doesn't have to go too far. Just a bit to separate. Thanks for the transport bots. Separate things out. Let's send it up here. And should be going 10 spaces up, so not too far. We can go ahead and do it right here. I guess we can also splitter these together if we haven't yet. Yeah, at whatever point they join. And that way it balances out then based on need. Then we can go ahead and just pull a simple thing like this right over here. This is left, left. This is left. Okay, it's going to be exactly like this, right? So we'll go ahead and just pull this. And wow, that's going to, well, we need a little bit more than this, but yeah. So if we let's just do it up 1. Split off here for this. And cancel all the stuff we didn't need in the first place. Cool. Now I gotta make sure we're supplying steam. Which I probably just want to do an underground for, so I can do it across. And then we just expand this by 4 on each side. And then we change the recipe to iron plates. And there you go. That is 20. Let's double check it by doing this math. Yep, 20. And they're all getting fueled. They're all putting on. And now we have plate action. Great. What else can we do today? Iron rods and iron beams, huh? And the rods will turn into rivets. So in a way, it's very similar to what we were doing in the bronze production, which is kind of cool that it's like the same idea. It just is scaled up a bit more because the demand is different. But yeah, that works for me. 5 rods, 5 rivets. We have 6 and 6, I believe. But we're going to be pulling from different ingot lines instead of all in the same one. Last time I pulled this from like 2 different sources. We want to separate it out. We want to make sure we're... Well, 0.8 plus 0.2 is actually... But then half of this is 0.4. But it's a full ingot line. It's not a half an ingot line. So it'll be fine. The splitter will know what to do with it. So we can do this. Pretty cool. How do we want it? Like this? Yeah. And like it said only 5, so we could just save these. Or we could just do the simple thing and... Well, no, it goes left to right and then left to right. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, we could just do this and then undergrounds, which we are running low on. Keep in mind. And then recipe once again. But yeah, it's great that we can like repurpose all this stuff, and that's not the thing I wanted. There we go. Got it. And these can be iron rods. It's kind of like it rewards you for getting it right the first time, and that's what I tend not to do. There we go. It rewards you for like having a good, well-intended setup instead of just putting a bunch of assemblers around a box and hoping for the best. Which, don't get me wrong, that's how everybody starts, but you work towards something more until you spill it all on the floor. All right. So we have plenty of rivets. 5 rivet makers, 5 rod makers. We want 19.2 or 20, rounded up, steam assemblers. We're almost to green science. Wow, let's... I know it's a bit long, but let's home stretch it. Come on. Get some electricity going. We won't really get into the green tech, but just having it is a nice feeling. I don't think I brought any labs. I was not anticipating the chain of events that was here, but I do have 10 labs. It's something. Oh, I could have piped red science instead of glass down. That would have been better. I think I will do that, but we're going to have to flush the whole belt line down. What I can do to get that started is go ahead and split off glass only into here. Sorry, into the other side. And probably do more than one inserter for this. This will clear the whole line nicely. So we'll just put some bronze boxes here. Give it the steam. Yeah, so all the glass is going to come off the line. All the stone will stay, and that will... And then we have to disconnect it at the top, which I believe we can do without too much hassle. The glass is coming in right here. So if I do this, it will stop putting it on, and it's only coming off, which means we will be able to then get the red. Now, if we had a robotics... wow, I forgot the word. Roboport. Robopay? Roboport. Robotower. I don't know anymore, because these are personal roboports. I guess it's a robo port either way. Not important. Semantics. Anyways, the point is, if I had a roboport, I could then tell the bots to send in the red, and I could just build a conveyor belt line that would connect here, and then it would get to me. But we have to run back for that, and we'll just do that next time. Let's finish this build. We have iron beams. Iron beams require ingots, plates, rivets. So let's go ahead and give it to them. We don't need the rods anymore. We can go ahead and box that as excess, since it might be useful for something. I imagine it is. It was useful for the bronze chest, for example, so super nice. And then... how many? We need a decent amount, right? 20 steam assemblers. Or beam assemblers. Belt-wise, 0.4, so the ingots and the rivets should be combined together. So, didn't use these. Let's go ahead and do so. Actually, yeah, we'll do the weird loop-to-loop version. It works. I'll keep getting kicked around. All right. So it will get it's 0.4, 0.4, and then we'll do the plates for the 0.8. And like we tend to do, we're going to go ahead and box this stuff up. I kind of want to avoid steam. Oh, this has steam. I'm done. All right. There we go. So half of it will go there, half of it will go there. We can do the same for the rivets right here. This is just to make it very accessible material for when we need it later. Ideally, we put it in a mall like before, but not my goal right now. We'll reroute it later. My goal is to take this over here, combine it with this stuff, and I'm assuming, yeah, it's going to be big assemblers for the beams for sure. I'll double check it, but no doubt that is a too complex. And with good reason. But yeah, we'll use the big assemblers at this point. And we'll... Actually, that's interesting, because I'm using 0.8 iron plate. I actually don't have a place to put it, unless I just use long-handed steam inserters. If it's 0.5, I would do the half split thing on the words are hard transport belts, but let's just go ahead and do the long-handed steam ejection. That works perfectly fine. So as it is, and not that one really. Yeah, we need 2 inserter spots. So, and the count was pretty decent. It is 20. So we'll do at least 10 here. We can just do the whole line if we want to. We're not really using this space, so I'm okay with it. The alternative is that I do 10 more and I route it back down. I'm a fan of that. I gotta get used to just being okay with 20 machines being in a row, though. It's not a bad thing in Factorio. In fact, it can be very helpful. And 20 is not a crazy amount. There are sometimes you're going to need like 100 machines in a row for, not in a row, but in the same sub factory, the same system. So we'll do input of iron and output long-handed steam inserter. The recipe, beams. Beams. So I use copy and paste because the shift right click and shift left click has limited range, whereas copy paste is like a blueprint. You can just do it anywhere and it looks good. All right, and then I think we'll want them to come down here. So we'll do one to the south, one to the north, do a little conveyor belt, or not conveyor belt, steam pipe here. It's getting late. And with a little up and down action, we can now copy paste this across the world. Get a cleaner one that's replicatable right here. And away you go. I don't have landfill on me. Bring in the steamroller. All right, the glass is finished. Its supply filled up about a chest and a half. A bit less than that, but it's all good. Where is the steamroller? There it is. Heavy roller. No, don't crash. All right, there we go. And now it's in position to also supply some construction network activity. Should be an even number. I feel like there's something wrong here. Oh, it's just like 3 for some reason. Yeah, I'm just gonna double check this because this seems awkward. All right, there we go. Oh, because of the water. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All good. And we do need some steam inserters. Luckily, we brought like 500. Long distance constructing. So we just do like this, then break that because we don't need it. And then there we go. And the only problem we might have is if we need more than half of a belt for beams, which we will know here. We only need 0.4, so that's fine. If we needed more, then we would have to do some of the conveyor belt tricks to put that on 2 sides instead of 1. But all said and done, this looks looking pretty good. We'll just connect it right. Actually, I'll do an underground. So imagine there will be a day where I want to run in between those two. And just to cap it off at the top. Looking pretty good. Oh, not all of these got the command, though. There you go. Beams, 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 beams. Yeah, we can't walk through this, annoyingly. I guess we can, technically. If you just go halfway down, so 10, and right around here, you make yourself a little path. Let's squeak through here our own way. And there you have it. So, we now are on the precipice. We just need to connect the bronze frame glass and the iron beams together, and we'll be all set. I think this is an okay... No, it's not. If you've run spaghetti as long as I have, you'll know when things don't work. Actually, this is good. Nope. Unless you missed that. Yeah, we could just do this. The starter base, guys. It's fine. It doesn't count. Guess we can box some iron as well. I don't think there's any harm in just pulling it right off the line, actually. Yeah, technically issues there, but... Alright, so yeah. Box and a quarter. But we got the glass taken care of, so we can get rid of this stuff. And then just send the red down, and you have technology. What is this? Is not how this is supposed to go. Oh, it came from here. Yeah, we'll just do this. Cool. Well, we've got what we need. And then we need quite a few of these too. 26. Yeah, I'll do horizontal for this. And we'll probably like start a bus around here. Just keep that in mind for the future. Let's say here. Skip 2. And that way we can avoid, once we get out of the swampy area, we can avoid the ocean, I think. I don't think it curves up any further. And we can just bring in, oh, it works pretty well with the iron over there too, huh? Perfect. Yeah, that'll work great. Cool. In the meantime, we can go ahead, clear that, fill this, maybe a little bit of that, and make some greens. We can dual side, pull from 2 different sides for this one, which will break it down in half, 13 on each side. I don't know why I keep on pulling from here instead of actually using my hotbar, but yeah, symmetry is important to me. Let's do that. 4, 6, 8. We do -1, 13, right? 15. We're very tired. 26, 26. No. Yeah, you can actually do both of these here. Go at least that far. And then in theory, you should be able to just rotate this around right here. Wonderful. And then the exact same thing on top. And on bottom. Steam it and call it. We are green. You'll do undergrounds. Actually, don't even need undergrounds. It stops there. And if we need a little bit more boiler action, we can always supplement that with our fancy new build. That's one thing I just love about Factorio is like the little setup there. You know, I showed one person's idea with the daisy chain. You know, I had my original idea, my first really bad one, and then like this one, which is great. I like the visual flow of it, and it makes a lot of sense. It's a little more complicated than it needs to be though, because eventually you just find something that really works. And that's what I really like about Factorio. Is just like there's so many ways to do the exact same thing, and just make it your own, make it unique. So yeah, that's what I want to keep doing here, whether in Desert Revolution or another variant entirely. But let's wrap this one up. Get our... You guys good? Yeah, it's just filling. All right, get the green tech out. Yes, this cannot reach. We'll just do this. Bink, bink, bam. Cool. And then we just need the destination. This takes twice as long to craft as the reds, so obviously you'll see more of the machines, but they'll do the same thing. And once we get to 1.25, that'll double their speed. So, sorry, what I meant was once we get to automation 2, we get to actually get the more standardized assemblers, that's when you'll see this one be just as efficient as whatever. Now, in theory, we should have a full continuous flow of beams that supplies everybody with what they need. But sometimes they get greedy at the very beginning and take more than what they need to fill up not just the current one, but the next one, which is understandable. So, no need to really... No need for a splitter here because they're definitely going to be having the equivalent amount. And then we just need a lab setup and reds. But reds are up top. That's going to be a track up there. I'll go ahead and head up there and resupply, get the red belt attached, and then we'll meet up for day number 9. But this has been a very productive day in Factorio, and thanks for joining me here in the factory. Hopefully we can do it again very soon. Until then, thanks for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, all the things that you feel like doing, whatever it is, no matter what. I appreciate you being here and joining me for this adventure. You have a good one, and see you next time.